Hello, this is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Karaba Avenue, and I am Jul Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. In a pivotal moment which has prompted a national debate in the Gambia, the National Assembly has referred to the appropriate committee for further review the bill which seeks to repeal the Women's Amendment Act, which criminalizes female circumcision. On Monday, during a debate on the murder and armed robbery crime rates in the Gambia, NAMS called for the strengthening of security measures to protect lives and property. And over 20 people have been arrested by a joint security task force following the launch of Operation Fight Kush, Kush being a hybrid strain of cannabis that is being smuggled into the Gambia. The Gambia Public Procurement Authority Tuesday formally handed over authorization certificates to over 20 entities as part of government efforts to decentralize public procurement. And in international news, following his exclusion from the role of approved candidates to run in Senegal's Sunday's presidential election, we looked at how a recent tweet by Karim Wade set off speculation on the candidate he will endorse. Those were your headlines, and now the news in detail. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is QTV News with me, Jul Denjai. Before we go into the details of the story, we have a quick update. Gambia's Gina Bass, now running under her married name of Bass Bite, has triumphed again at the Africa Games. She won the 100 meters in a time of 11.36 seconds to finish ahead of Maya McCoy of Liberia and Olajide Olayinka, who finished second and third respectively. We will bring you a full report and an interview on tomorrow's This Morning on QTV. Now, in a pivotal moment prompting a national debate, the National Assembly has referred to the appropriate committee for further review the bill which seeks to repeal the Women's Amendment Act, which criminalizes female circumcision. Following committee review, the matter will be referred back to the National Assembly. This has ignited passionate argument between supporters and opponents of the practice. Lena E. Iguenyiba spoke to some of them, and this is her report.
Mentioned by the majority leader, the bill faced a divided vote with 42 in favor of suspension of the debate, 4 against and 4 abstaining. Before this vote, only 4 assembly members had been able to speak during the debate. This crucial decision propels the bill to the Select Committee on Health, Refugees, Disaster and Humanitarian Relief, Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and the Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters for in-depth deliberation. The practice is not carried out in every Islamic country, and there is debate within the religion, as is evident by the current debate in the Gambia. However, Lamin Sise, the National Assembly member of Kiang West, quotes the practice of circumcision from his Islamic faith.
There are 2 sunnahs. What he has practiced and what he has seen people practicing, but do not stop them from practicing. These are the sunnahs of the Prophet. If you don't know, go and learn. It does not mean whatever Prophet does not practice is not a sunnah. What Prophet sees people practicing and does not advise them to stop it is a sunnah. This is a Prophet, as I quote, Honorable Speaker, on your permission. La yantiku anil hawa in huwa illa wahyuha. He does not speak on his feeling, only if Allah commands him to speak.
The nation stands at a crossroads, with voices from all corners poised to shape the fate of this controversial practice. As the debate unfolds, emotions run high, reflecting the deeply entrenched beliefs and cultural norms that underpin this issue. Musukeba Job, an anti-FGMC, and Joanna Mendes, sexual and gender-based violence project officer of the Network Against Gender-Based Violence, opposed the attempt to repeal the law and urged parliamentarians to consider the best interest of Gambian women and girls.
During Yahya Jammeh's time, when he was signing it into law, where there are no religious leaders to talk about its importance and existence. But they kept quiet. Now that everybody is convinced, and we have had dialogue about it, after 9 years, they want to come and tell us it's something good. They just want to create chaos in this country, but they aren't upholding religion, because if it's about religion, a true believer would stand for the truth and the right thing. Back then, they were afraid to speak, but now they have the guts to say the practice is good.
They are saying that we are opponents, but we are not seeing them as opponents. We are all Gambians, so we are here for a good cause. What we are saying is there's no health benefit, and that is where we stand. And to tell the National Assembly that they have a responsibility to protect the women and children of this country. They have a responsibility to respect human rights of this country. So that is why we are here. We are telling them that let them not repeal this law.
As the nation, and by extension the global community, anticipates the third reading and ensuing debate, the question looms: will the existing law be upheld, or will the winds of change prevail, resulting in the repeal of the ban on female circumcision law? The matter has generated interest beyond Gambia's borders, with the BBC reporting on Tuesday that if repeal succeeds, it will be the first time anywhere in the world that a law banning female circumcision has been repealed. Reporting for KTV News, I am Lena Igweniba.
Interesting times there. Now on Monday, during a debate at the National Assembly on the murder and armed robbery crime rates in the Gambia, NAMS called for the strengthening of security measures to protect lives and property. Momodu Lamin Choi has the rest of that story.
Prevalence of crime is a threat to national security and, by extension, everyone's life and property. Recent crimes inspired a statement from Jibi Mbalo, National Assembly member for Lower Fuladu West, who references several incidents of murder and armed robbery within the Greater Banjul area.
Violence in our beloved country is deeply concerning and poses a significant threat to the safety and security of all peace-loving Gambians. Lives and properties are being endangered on a daily basis. First, let's strengthen law enforcement by allocating resources to enhance police capacity, improve response time, and support community policing initiatives.
The police are mandated to manage and control crime, but face challenges due to limited resources. The solution to such problem requires complementary efforts from the three arms of government and the public. Although there are no real-time data on the rate of crimes in the Gambia, reported cases have got many worried about their safety and security.
People today enlist themselves into the security as a result of probably there is no job opportunities for them. If not, our security will almost be empty. Everyone will decide to leave the security field. So we have to recognize it, because today we are paying a heavy price on security. Every day there is death or a murder case, either reported or unreported. So everything that is happening here, I am going to blame ourselves in the name of what? Democracy.
I am taking this thing in a positive way. I think it is our responsibility to do the needful and stop the blame game. We will be counting killings in this country because they do not have the resources, and we are not giving them the resources. So we come to chambers here and tell the people that government needs to take their responsibility. What are we saying? I think we have to start shifting the game. It is our responsibility to tell the government that we want to give resources to the police so that they can do what they are supposed to do. We are not doing that.
Even for the police to have mobility is a problem. So the issue of security should be our priority as Parliament, but it should also be the priority of the entire nation, including or spearheaded by the executive.
That is from all Gambians, that if we want to see a peaceful Gambia, if we want to see a well-secured Gambia, each and every Gambian must be ready to be a police officer, just like if you go to other countries. But there are people living in these countries who will be harboring criminals. So at the end of the day, those criminals will go out there to do whatsoever what they want to do. So at the end of the day, the blame game will continue.
Although there are no real-time data on the rate of crimes in the Gambia, reported cases have got many worried about their safety and security and demanding urgent remedial action from government. A unified commitment and response to the security challenges as outlined by the NAMS is critical to making the Gambia safe for all. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now, over 20 people have been arrested by a joint security task force following the launch of Operation Fight Kush, a hybrid strain of cannabis that is being smuggled into the Gambia. Lolly M. Kamara engaged the police PRO on the matter, and this is her report.
Operatives of the Crime Management Department of the Gambia Police Force, in collaboration with the Drug Law Enforcement Agency and partners, launched Operation Fight Kush on the 27th of February 2024. The initiative seeks to reduce the menace of Kush in the country. The people arrested are alleged to be dealers of this illegal substance. The Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, Cadet ASP Modu Musa Sisao, elaborates.
The young Gambians who would tomorrow become the elders of this country, and because it is drug induced, and mostly when they take these drugs, they eventually go into committing different types of crimes, and as a result they get to the police station. So we realized that we wouldn't have to leave this with the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which is primarily responsible for taking care of drugs and drug related matters, but because we understand the effect of this widespread and it gets to our domain, so it's important that we support the operation. So this is why the Crime Management Department of the Gambia Police Force, the leadership has seen it very necessary for them to come up with an operation that will be able to address this issue.
Cadet ASP Sisao stresses the need for more collaboration to tackle the trafficking of Kush, adding that circulation of the drug is contributing to the increase in crime, and most of the people arrested are foreigners.
Close to 70% of them are non-Gambians. Basically, some of them are coming from, all of them who've been arrested are coming from Sierra Leone or related to Sierra Leone, and the other is our Gambians, our own Gambian brothers. Yeah, I think it's important that we understand that this has to be a concerted effort of government and all other stakeholders, including the public. I think the public is an important stakeholder here because the youth are coming from homes and families. It's important that for people to recognize that they have a responsibility to their kids, and children or the young who wouldn't just be left around idling and all that. The idle mind is a devil's workshop. So I think this is one of the reasons why most of our youth are involved in this. We've been seeing a lot of, stabbing, a lot of cutting, a lot of killing recently, and we wouldn't say 100%, it's as a result, but there is a relationship because we've seen people who wouldn't actually in the right moment be able to do certain things are the one involved in this. And there have been so-called gang fights here where a group of people would fight against other groups, because of one reason or the other. So we are relating it to some of these things.
According to experts, Kush is as dangerous as heroin or cocaine. For some users, Kush addiction can fuel serious psychiatric issues and can also cause users to fall asleep while walking like zombies, to fall over, to bang their heads against hard surfaces, and to walk into moving traffic. Some West African countries, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, are also grappling with young people becoming addicted to Kush. ASP Sisao reiterated that the Gambia Police Force remains committed to the fight against drug use and trafficking and tackling all crime in the Gambia. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Unfortunate situation there. Now we will go for a short commercial break. When we return, we have some more local and international news stories for you. Don't go away.
Wow, lii nga la ni waaw ana sa secret lan la lii daal mooy sama seegere lii mooy best oil.
soo leen gisee lekk bi neex na best oil moo fi jaar best oil neex na baax na sell na ànd na ak wér gu yaram baax na si xale baax na si mag baax na si ñuy sëy baax na si ñu dul sëy jigéen bu bëgg a teral jëkkëram na dem jënd best oil bii nii te best oil bi soo ko buggee am demal Banjul opposite terminal bi soo fa demee di nga am best oil bi wala nga dem Serekunda si marché bi supermarket mini market ak bitik foo mun di xalaat ci Gambia soo fa demee di nga am best oil baa nga call leen si 74 51 482 74 51 482 tey nag balaa ngeen di dem kenn si yéen dinaa leen jox best oil bi ngeen yóbbaale ko seen jëkkër yi pour ngeen teral leen ci si weeri koor bu ñu nekk nii foo mun di xalaat ci Gambia soo demee di nga am best oil.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News with me, Jul Denjai, and now to the rest of our stories. The Gambia Public Procurement Authority Tuesday formally handed over authorization certificates to 20 entities, including key state and public agencies, at a ceremony held at the National Assembly grounds. The move is part of the government effort to decentralize public procurement in the country, and Sumana Esonyasi reports.
This move, described by heads of certified institutions as a step in the right direction, follows the recent enactment into law by Parliament, an instrument that seeks to decentralize public procurement. With the approval of the second cohort comprising of 20 public establishments, 30 entities have since the enactment of the bill been granted formal authorization to carry out their procurement needs. For the Jaite, the Director General of the Public Procurement Authority, whose institution spearheaded this initiative, says he hopes the move will foster a culture of accountability and enhance effective service delivery.
Decentralization enhances agility and responsiveness by situating procurement decision-making closer to the need, closer to the point of need. These authorized procuring organizations can promptly address the specific requirements and challenges faced by their respective institutions.
His remarks were echoed by Solomon Jatta, Director of Public Procurement KEDA, and Ibrahim Sanyang, Director of Public Procurement and Operation, highlighting how decentralizing procurement processes will help promote transparency and accountability. They call on authorized entities to ensure the observance of already established procurement procedures, adding that there will be constant monitoring and institutions that breach procurement rules will have their authorizations rescinded or not renewed at the end of a 2-year period.
Institutions are still required to submit through modules using the procurement portal, which has robust monitoring mechanisms to track the effectiveness and efficiency of their procurement processes continuously. By regularly evaluating performance against predefined indicators and benchmarks, institutions can identify areas for improvement and implement corrective measures proactively.
Commending GPPA and the National Assembly for initiating this framework, by Ibrahim Job, board member of the GPPA, says while it is important to acknowledge the significance of granting procurement authorization to public entities, it is important to have strong oversight mechanisms to ensure accountability, adding that the onus now lies on the accredited institutions to uphold the highest standards of transparency and integrity.
It is therefore imperative that we equip our institutions with the necessary tools and resources to navigate the complexities of procurement in a manner that is both compliant and conducive to achieving value for money.
Other speakers at the event included the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance and the Chief Medical Director of the AFSTH, who all acknowledged the importance of the event and the impact this move is expected to have, especially in enhancing effective service delivery. The Gambia Revenue Authority, Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, NRA and major hospitals across the country are among the 20 public entities who were awarded authorization certificates at the event. Answana Isonyase for KTV News.
Now, a group of 9 Danish journalists comprising communication officers and teachers were in the Gambia for a week-long study tour of media houses and journalism institutions to get first-hand information on Gambian journalists' work. And the aim is to strengthen the quality and capacity of Gambian journalists. I engaged some of them, and this is my report.
The Gambia Media Support Games was founded in 2006 by a group of Danish journalists, photographers and other media professionals. The organization's work is financed by donations, gifts and membership fees, as well as by income from the association's activities. Gambia Media Support activities are engaged in professional and organizational capacity building with Gambian counterparts, the Gambia Press Union, as well as offering training and counseling for Gambia media professionals. Marie-Louise Anfers, Danish journalist and member of the board of directors of Games, highlights the rationale behind the study tour.
We have invited some Danish journalists, a delegation of Danish journalists, for them to see how the media landscape in the Gambia is and the challenges that you face. So we hope that the Danish journalists will write articles in Denmark about the situation here and support us in the work and other organizations to enhance the situation and the partnership.
Mrs. Anfers further elaborates on the impact Games has had on the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications, MAJAC, and the Gambia media in general.
We can see that a lot of the students from MAJAC, they are going out into the media in the Gambia, and they are, as far as we can see, they are very successful and doing a good job. And we believe that MAJAC has contributed to a higher standard within journalism in the Gambia. I believe that MAJAC still wants some kind of capacity building, maybe on special areas as well. So this is something that we are working together with them to do.
Anna Meta Ilas, a Danish journalist and communications officer, observes that there has been a lot of change in Gambia's media when it comes to press freedom since her last visit 14 years ago. Ms. Ilas also spoke of things that fascinates her about the Smiling Coast.
What fascinates me is the journalists and the media people. How professional they work, how hard they work, how much they try to make the best journalism, critical journalism, quality journalism, which with just your equipment and all that and your resources are not the same in Denmark. But you do, in fact, the same thing as we do, but under much more difficult circumstances. And I'm so impressed with what you can make and the high standards you have today.
During their stay, the Danish group visited MAJAC, GPU, QTV, Foroya newspaper and Jane Koto Community Radio in Gunjur, amongst other places of interest. They also had the chance to tour the facilities and participated in some of the classes. The Gambia Media Support is independent of political, religious and economic interests and has a democratic view of the role of the press in society. For QTV News, I am Julde Njai.
That report there takes us to news beyond our borders. Now, Karim Wade has been notably excluded from the role of approved candidates to run in Sunday's presidential race. In his bid to overturn the Constitutional Council's decision, he forged an unexpected alliance with MPs from Macky Sall's camp and played a crucial role in the vote's postponement. In a recent tweet set of speculation on the candidate he will endorse, Momodou Mbodj tells more.
After 3 years of dizzying political twists and turns, deadly protests and implacable defiance, Senegal is now on the home straight to its much debated and awaited presidential election. Sidi Diop, deputy editor of a Dakar daily paper Le Soleil, describes it as the most open election of the 12 presidential votes held under universal suffrage since Senegal gained independence from France in 1960. 19 candidates have been cleared to contest, but only a handful stand any realistic chance of winning, according to Diop. And among the handful, it is doubtful if any of them will obtain the 50% vote share needed to win on the first ballot. But many analysts say if the election goes to a runoff, it will be a choice between President Sall's hand-picked successor, former Prime Minister Amadou Ba, and Ousmane Sonko's chosen candidate, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, both former tax inspectors. President Sall's choice, analysts say, neither enjoys consensus within the ruling Benno Bokk Yakaar coalition, nor is he popular among Senegalese voters, and that President Sall's postponement of the February election was a last-ditch attempt to get Karim Wade on the list of candidates, in the belief that he stood a better chance of winning than the officially anointed Amadou Ba. Whatever the truth might be, it seems all irrelevant now. Wade would not contest on Sunday, but people are eager to see whether the alliance his party, the PDS, formed with the ruling coalition will hold, and he would endorse Amadou Ba. In a race that is likely to be determined by small margins, such support could make the difference between winning and losing. When he was declared ineligible to contest, he posted on social media site X, formerly Twitter, that he would take part in the election in one way or another. He very well might, but not just in the way he had hoped. For QTV News, I'm Momodou Mbodj.
Interesting times there in Senegal. Well, I'm afraid that's all we got time for. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a splendid evening.